Hey, what's up, all of you beautiful subscribers? Welcome back to the Chapple Show. So we're going to cover an entrepreneurship and investing strategy from Snapchat co-founder and CEO, Evan Spiegel. And if you're a subscriber of this channel, you guys are probably surprised, because I crap on Snapchat a lot with their recent, business strategy of the past year. But, it doesn't mean you can't learn something. I mean, the company's still worth tens of billions of dollars, even though I crap on it all the time. So we're going to cover some of Evan Spiegel's strategies here. Let's start off here with number one. So, this is a big piece of advice for anyone that's starting a business, and I do believe in this strategy as well. And this is plan to never sell. Plan to never sell. So a lot of people these days, when you start a tech company, whatever kind of tech it is, if it's software, if it's hardware, if it's automated drive, whatever it is. These days, a lot of people in Silicon Valley, they plan to start a company in hopes of selling it one day for $100 million or $1 billion, and they don't care about one important thing. And I know it's kind of funny because Snapchat doesn't really go by this, but they don't really care about if the company makes money or not. All right? And so plan to never sell, even though Evan Spiegel, he means this in the sense that build a company that you would want to keep building forever. All right? Don't build a company in just hopes of selling it one day. Build a company as if you're going to hold on to it for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And so, I take that as, build a company that's going to cash flow. Build a company that's going to turn profits. Build a company that's going to, do something, something that you want to do into the future. I know Snapchat still hasn't turned a profit, and with the way things are going now, I don't think that they might never turn a profit because they're going downhill right now, the company. But who knows, maybe they can turn things around. So I want you to take two pieces of advice from this one point here. So plan to never sell. One is build a company that is sustainable and doesn't require a lot of debt or investment to keep going. That's number one. And number two is just build a company that you would want to keep building for years and years and years, for decades. All right, so plan to never sell. Don't build a company with the sole purpose of selling it to Google one day for $1 billion, okay? We're going to move on here to piece of advice number two. And this is be the first. So Snapchat was one of the first, if not the first, app to do things like filters, and one of the first apps to erase your messages right after you send them, or right after someone views them after 10 seconds. And so being the first was one of the reasons why Snapchat was able to grow. They were the first really big app to have a few different features, like the filters, like the 10-second videos, like the everything's erasable, and so on. I know that Vine kind of had the 6-second videos and so on, but they weren't messages, they were posts. So Snapchat, for its area that it was in, it was the first. Until it got copied by Instagram and Facebook, which is, that's a good business strategy from Instagram. They used Instagram stories, and they took the they essentially copied what Snapchat was doing. Plus, Instagram has a bunch of other features too. And so, anyways, being the first, if Snapchat wasn't the first, though, here's the deal, is that if Snapchat wasn't the first one to do this, they wouldn't have any user base whatsoever. If you're the 10th person to make a Snapchat app, you may not do, unless you have something that really is a lot better than all of the other apps out there, you're probably not going to succeed and build up that base. So Snapchat was first, and now they got copied, and we're going to have to see if they change up their company strategy or not. We're going to see. So I guess this kind of goes along the same lines here. And this is grow fast. Snapchat was actually, at one point, the fastest growing app out there. It was the fastest growing piece of tech and user base out there. For, I believe it was over the course of 6 months to a year, they were adding, crazy amounts of users every month, like millions, tens of millions sometimes of new users at their, probably 10 million users a month at their peak in terms of adding new users. And so this was part of the strategy. I mean, Snapchat's not an old app. Snapchat, when did it get founded? I believe it was founded in 2012 or something? Let me just check this right here. Snapchat founded. I know usually I'm really prepared, but when I go on these tangents, I don't really know, right? So it was founded in 2011, all right? And then it got released publicly marketed about a year later. So Snapchat's only really been around for like 5 years, and they have a user base of 100 and something million people. And so grow as fast as you can. Now, saying that you don't want to grow super fast and have an unsustainable company, but if you can grow really fast and take out a lot of debt and maybe lose money, then eventually after you build up that user base and customers, you can potentially cut some expenses out and then, become profitable. I think that was the Snapchat strategy in the first place, was grow as fast as you can, take out a bunch of debt, sell a bunch of equity off, grow to build that user base to 100 million users, whatever it may be. And then from there, start to cut back on some of your expenses, some of your marketing, some of your, all of your other expenses. And then all of a sudden, your income might stay the same or increase a little bit, but your expenses go down and you're profitable. And all of a sudden, you have a billion-dollar company, multi-billion-dollar company that's profitable. You can sell it, you can keep it, do whatever you want with it. So I think that that's really important. Grow as fast as you can, be the first, things along those lines. We're going to move on here to number 4. Stand up. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for your company. And this is something that I've seen recently from him specifically, I think with the last earnings call he had. Snapchat's been getting crapped on a ton, especially from people like me. And guess what? He's taken it. He's taken it. All of the crap that we've thrown on him. He still does interviews. He still goes out in public. He's like, we still believe that this app's going to do well for reasons X, Y, and Z. And you know what? Don't let the haters get you down, kind of thing. So stand up for yourself. Stand up for your company. Those are very important aspects of just business in general. Think about this. Like, I'm building an e-commerce marketplace. By the way, as of yesterday, I've realized how to get my shipping quicker than actually Amazon and much cheaper. Like, anyways, I cannot get into that actually, because this is actually something that could be a game changer for my own company. And so I don't want to kind of give that away. But if I had gone up to an investor, and I said, hey, I want to build an e-commerce marketplace and I want to build it like Amazon. They'd been like, okay, you're crazy. There's already a bunch of people in that space. Okay, but even if so, who's going to develop it? I'm like, I'll say me. They'll ask me, do you know how to code? No. So I'd be approaching investors saying, I don't know how to code. I want to build a giant marketplace. And they're going to say, that's a stupid idea. Stop it. That's what they would say. But I stand up for myself. Do whatever, learn how to code. All right, prove them wrong. I have a lot of people that saying that it's, a stupid idea. You're not going to be able to take any market share. That's okay. That's okay. I believe in what I'm doing, and I think it's going to turn out well. So whatever venture you're getting into, just because that there's going to be people saying it's a stupid idea or a bad idea or the business is not going well, whatever, just stand up for yourself. Sometimes it's okay to listen to those. Some people have very constructive criticisms, and some people are like Kevin O'Leary, just like, there's a giant foot coming down that's going to smite you for this stupid idea. But a lot of people do have constructive criticism out there, so listen to that. But do stand up for yourself. Stand up for your company. Just because you have a downturn in your business doesn't mean that the business is going to end. So just like Snapchat, I've been saying this. I do think Snapchat's not doing too well right now. I don't think it's going to do well in the future. But I always say they can turn things around, but they have to find another way to innovate, like they did 5 years ago when they founded the app. And I hope that they do. And we're going to move on here to number 5 here, actually. And this is something along those lines, which is push through. Push through the hard times. And every business will experience this. Snapchat is doing this right now. And you will go through this. When you are starting your own business, when you are starting, whether it's a solo business, a bricks and mortar, an online business, maybe you're a life coach or something like that, you're going to go through hard times. There are hard times. When I started, I remember actually, when I started, all of this entrepreneurship stuff, I had a really, really good first month, like a fantastic first month. I was like, oh, this is great. I'm going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars in my first year. I didn't really think that I was kind of reasonable, but, I was on pace to do that after my first month. However, the month after that was really, really bad. And in fact, it was like very, very bad. And it was sad. I didn't know what was wrong, and it was some hard times for everything that I was doing. But you just kind of got to push through. Just because you have a bad 30 days or a bad 40 days or 60 days or a bad week doesn't mean that your company's going to fail. All right? And so you can always find a way to turn it around. And there's a lot of the times, especially in business, like, you'll have up and down days in general. People don't really realize this. This is one of the stressful parts about business is that, like, I've said this flat out in the open. Imagine this. There are some days where I can make over $1,000 in one day. All right? That's happened, okay? Where you can make over $1,000 and then the next day you might make zero. Not zero. I mean, usually I don't think I've ever made $0 in a day. But I think there's, like, what I'm talking about is you can go from $1,000 one day to $100 the next. All right? And you got to be able to deal with those ups and downs and push through those days. Push through those days where you only make $100. Or if you're just starting out, you only make $10 or $20 or $30. Because then you're going to have some days in the future where you might make, for you guys, $200. And that might be really, really good. You might make more than I am right now. You might have days where you make $5,000 in one day. All right? Who really knows? But you just got to push through those hard times and just keep on going. And it's not, I mean, when I started, I mean, I remember I was happy. Let's even go back. Let's go way, way back. Even before I even started on my entrepreneurship journey, I was just kind of making science YouTube videos back in the day, 3-4 years ago now. And I was super happy when I would make like $5 in a day from one video. $5 or from my entire channel. Then it got to, on my science channel, it was $5 and then $10 a day and then, $50 a day. And it kept going along the lines of that. So, I mean, just kind of you gotta keep pushing through. And especially at the start. I mean, the first 2 years of business are the toughest. The first 2 years suck, where you're not going to make any money, but you just got to push through. And once you become an established business like Snapchat, you're probably going to go through some hard times. Amazon went through hard times. Amazon, during the tech bubble, their share price dropped to 95%, and they couldn't get money, and they had to innovate. And so they started selling DVDs and CDs and stuff on their website instead of just books. eBay went through that as well, all those e-commerce giants, all those tech companies in the 90s, even like Sony. All right, Sony in 99 was one of the biggest stock market drop-offs ever. And then what did they do? They made the PlayStation, they made Blu-ray and all those tech innovations that weren't around before. And so you just got to find a way to push through the hard times. Every single business, big or small, goes through that. And so push through and keep going. You'll hopefully succeed. If you're a really solid all-around entrepreneur, you will succeed into the future. You just got to keep pushing through it, push through the bad times. Now, those bad times may last one day, it may last a week, a month, a year. Usually, if your bad times last, 2 to 3 years, it might be time to give it up. But some companies have bad years. So I think it's going to wrap this video up, actually. So what do you guys think? Evan Spiegel, some of his strategies here, some of the tips that he gives to entrepreneurs. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. So I'd like to thank you very much for watching. You're all very beautiful people, and I'll see you guys in the next video.